What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I figured there would be no better place to start than right at the top, right at the king. Obviously, I'm talking about Stephen King. So I figured it'd be pretty fitting to start that video right where I keep some of my Stephen King books. So without no further ado, we're going to start at number 5. And number 5 was the first Stephen King book I ever read. And it was really late one night. I was trying to figure out what I should read, and just the thought of Stephen King popped into my head. I always heard that Stephen King books were very scary, and so I said, this might be the perfect night to do that. So what did I start with? Started with book number 5, Different Seasons. I always read on, multiple booktube channels that this is a really, really, really good place to start, and I couldn't agree more. This is the book that I recommend to a lot of people in my family that, hey, you got to give this a go. This will get you hooked onto Stephen King. There's 4 short stories in this book. One of them is Shawshank Redemption. One of them is The Body, or Stand By Me, the movie. But my favorite one in this book is a short story called Apt Pupil. It's amazing. I can't ever get the thought of it out of my head. It always stays with me, and it's pretty much about this young boy who lives in this town, and in that town is an older man, and for whatever reason the young boy is kind of infatuated with this mysterious older person. Without giving any spoilers, of course, they eventually meet, and what the young boy discovers in meeting him is truly chilling, and like I said, this book will stick with you for a long time. Okay, so book number 4. Book number 4 is something that I actually initially read the audio version, which I thought was incredible, but listening to the story, I really said to myself, just the book collector in me, man, I wish I had this in physical. So I went on eBay. I figured I might as well try to get, the original, and that book is going to be Misery, which I'm sure a lot of us know, and it's about an author named Paul Sheldon, and Paul has a super fan named Annie Wilkes, and Annie is obsessed with Paul, so obsessed that she goes to these ridiculous lengths to show him how much she loves him. And obviously spoiler free, but this book is another book that I would say is definitely on the more scarier side of King's material. Okay, book number 3. So book number 3 is a book that, fittingly enough, I decided to read during COVID. This is a huge book. Can you guess what it is? I'm sure you can, and that is The Stand. No surprise that this is on a top 5 list, but this is awe-inspiring. So it's pretty much about a large cast of characters that live in a world where there was a viral infection that killed off most of the population, and they're all going on this journey that's almost biblical, and there's so many characters in the book that it almost feels like you're reading mini short stories within this larger story. The climax is incredible, to put it lightly, and the ending of this book will stay with you for a very, very, very long time. It is long, yes, but it will go by like that, so give it a try. Okay, so book number 2. Book number 2 is a book that, if you watch people's reviews, a lot of them talk about, hey, if you don't have kids and you read this book, it's still scary and it's going to be a great story for you. But if you're somebody that does have kids, it hits you on a completely different level. And that book is none other than Pet Sematary. This is an amazing book. So I have 2 kids, and I read this book for the very first time, and I finally got what people were saying when they said if you have kids it hits you completely different, because this book, one scene in particular, really struck me to the core and shook me. It's about a family that moves to this town, and in this town, pretty much near their house, is this unique cemetery. And what goes on in this cemetery is, it's just freaky. That is the best way to say it. And what this family goes through is chilling. And this just had to be at number 2. I almost gave it number 1, but number 1 is, well, we'll get there. So give this a try. There's no way you won't like it. Okay, so book number 1. Book number 1 is a book that has romance. It has adventure. It has action. It has time traveling. It has everything for everyone. There's something to like for pretty much anyone, I think, who could read this book. And that book is none other than 11/22/63. This has to be in my top 5 greatest books of all time, if not my top 3. This book is about a man named Jake Epping. And Jake, pretty much, I don't think it's spoiler to say, he finds a means to travel back in time. And just reading the pages of how King describes what it was like to live in the 50s and the 60s, and you would go into, a diner and there'd be a soda pop for 2 cents. It's just crazy how he describes it. You almost feel like you went back in time with the character you're reading on the pages. He does such a good job. And if you're someone who loves history as well, this has your name written all over it. He pretty much comes to this conclusion that, what if I could stop JFK getting assassinated? And it just makes you think about all these things, all these people back in history that you love. What if you could change it? What if you could stop something from happening? Could that change the future? It's a pretty interesting question, and just going along on this ride in this book is something that will stick with you for a long time. So that's my top 5 books. Please let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there something that I didn't point out that's on your list? I think I want to just keep going with King. Maybe in the next one or a little bit down the road. There's so much that I've read, but there's also a lot that I haven't read. So I want to do a video talking about the books of King that I'm looking forward to getting to. Just a spoiler, one of them that I keep thinking about, I don't know why, is Stephen King, Under the Dome. Just looks crazy interesting to me. So I'm going to get to that and a lot others, and see you in the next one.